So I've bought this Mazda MX5 Icon for my son, Hassan, who's 17 years old currently. He's learning how to drive, but he's been a bit of a poorly lad for the last few months, so it's a bit of a treat. So the idea is to do this up as not a full-on rocket bunny style, but you know, certainly put some arches on it, get some better alloys, sort the kit out, sort the bodywork out. Overall, this is quite good condition, good starting point. It's nice inside. The image is going to cost quite a lot to insure for him, but he's a good kid and, you know, well deserving of a nice car to start with. After all, life's all about enjoying. So that's the car. There's a few things doing, like I said, better alloys, put some flared arches on there. Going to remove this kit. It's a bit kind of shabby really. Some of the bits, factory stuff's fine, like those rear and arch protectors at the back. Mud flaps, or I don't know, the qualifiers mud flaps, but I'm going to keep those. Bodyworks need a respray. But these side skirts are coming off, alloys going on. It's a private plate to go on there, polish up the exhaust and just give a body a once over and get it all resprayed. Probably put a hard top on there as well. But overall, inside the seats, everything else is in pretty good nick. It's got the tall steering gear shifter there, which is pretty cool actually. But what the car has got is these foggy lights, which I want to try and fix really. So I bought this kit. It's a bit windy at the moment, the stuff's blowing everywhere, which is this. Seems to be highly rated. So I'm going to give it a go. There's kind of these couple of tubes in there, came with some wipes, some sanding paper. There's a few different ones in there. These microfiber cloths, I should really be putting them on the floor. Put them back in the box in a minute. There's a little sanding block that's blown away somewhere as well. And some instructions, so I'm going to give that a go. And then that's what they look like at the moment, so let's see what they look like in about an hour's time. I'll keep you posted. So I've masked off the headlight as per instructions. So the first set of instructions is to clean the lens, which I have done, and then just to try the polishing paste, the plastic polish, for a few minutes, and then see if that works. If not, then move on to the next step, which is getting the sandpaper out. So I'm going to try with this stuff first, and then we'll see how we get on. So this is the result I got with just using polishing paint, the polishing paste, or the plastic polish rather. Took literally about 2 minutes, a quick wipe over, and it's brought them out pretty sparkling. Still a bit rough, but then they are quite old headlights. That's a pretty quick result really. So I'm going to try the other side, which is a lot more misty, and then see if it takes that off as well. If not, again we're moving it on to stage 2, which is sandpaper. So as you can see, I used just the polish remover on this one, so it's still a bit misty. It's not quite cleared up compared to the other side, which is quite shiny. But because I'm probably going to change these headlights anyway, and I'm a lazy bugger, I'm not really going to bother with the sanding side. I might actually try on this side, but I'm not going to bother on this side because you can see inside the actual chrome paint's flaked off anyway. But just out of curiosity, I'm going to give this one a go. So let's have a go with all the sandpaper, following the instructions in that box, and see how that looks. So actually I thought, let's give it a go with the sandpaper. It's a really nice sunny day, so there's an excuse to sit outside. So this has been rubbed first with 2000 grit for about 5 minutes, wiped clean, and then rubbed again with 3000 grit, wiped clean again, and then finished off with 5000 grit. So it still looks a little bit, it's not like polished or anything like that, but I think there's a few more stages to go. So I'm going to go through there and through them, and then we'll see what the end result looks like compared with just the polish that we did on the other side. Right, so this is the end result after using the polishing paste to start with, 2000 grit, 3000 grit, 5000 grit, polishing paste again, and then sealer. They've come out really well, almost like new. As you can see from earlier on, it was a really kind of misty haze that was kind of the top half of this. That's come away really nicely. It's also taken out some of like the light scratches as well. But one thing to note, do not use crappy masking tape to mask it off. I've got all this residue that I've now got to try and scrape off with my fingernail, which is not fun at all. So that's the one that's had the full treatment, and this one, which was only slightly hazed, came away just with the polish. They both had sealer put on them. It looks pretty cool, pretty easy to do. So overall, this kit here, it does what it says. Basically, it is pretty straightforward. Takes about 15-20 minutes per headlight, and it's gone from foggy, hazy, yellowy crap to blinging. So yeah, if you want to give that system a whirl, then that's good. It's good enough for this car anyway. So using that polishing compound, I've done the rear lights as well, which weren't too bad really, but it's brought a really nice shine to them. They do actually look really cool. I've still got to buff that one, well, both of them in fact. So I put the sealer on, but you have to leave it to dry for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can buff it out. The front ones, they've been done now, both of them. Look at that, shiny. That was the one with just the polish, because it only had a small amount of grey haze over there. It still feels a little bit rough, but it's good enough. This one will need changing anyway, because you can see in there, it's the chrome's gone on it. But this one, this has had the full treatment. Still a bit kind of misty, but it was quite bad. It looks pretty mint as well. Ultimately, I'm going to be changing all the headlights, something a bit more modern, but I was just curious to see how effective that stuff was while I was doing it. So yeah, I mean, it is really good stuff. So keep an eye on the YouTube channel. This is going to be turned into a Rocket Bunny type of car for my lad. Well, that's our starting point. It's a Mazda MX5 Mark 2.5 Icon. I'll show you the engine bay actually while we're here. It's had some work done on it. Nothing spectacular, but again, it's a good starting point. I think that's a Typhoon induction kit, I don't know. I really only bought it yesterday. I know very little about Mazda MX5s at this point, other than this one's pretty quick. I did test drive the RS, which to be fair was a lot faster, but ultimately this car's for an 18-year-old, and this, you know, this was quite fast as well, although not as fast, but you know, it'll do the job. I don't really want him driving too fast anyway. But yeah, that's our starting point. This one's got full stainless steel exhaust as well. Sounds really cool. The keys in there. Fire it up for you. Oh yeah. That all needs polishing up at some point as well. Yeah, sounds good. It's got these alloys on it, Dynamic, Team Dynamics Multisport. They're alright, but I think it's due a new suspension setup, so I'm going to try and get some coilovers, but I'm going to be putting some deep dish alloys on there anyway. So keep an eye out, see how things develop over the summer months, and hopefully I'll turn it into something pretty unique. Okay.